Welcome back to the Morningscape podcast. We're here. We have 2 streams left before the NHL season begins October 10th. We have some preseason action. We have some notes, some news. We really have it all here, but the best sport to play on. I mean, I think it's the best sport in best ball by far. And the numbers, they just simply don't lie. So we're going to get into it with Matt Moody right here, right now, fresh haircut, looking good. We were, of course, arguing about the DFS slate as I decided to be an alpha and fade Jason Robertson, and Matt was calling it inexcusable. So we're back in midseason form with Matt calling me a donkey fish. It just took like 2 preseason slates, and I'm like, no, I was correct in this take, and Matt's like, it's inexcusable. So if you're in the DFS streets tonight, I faded a little chalk. Last night I took all of the chalk, and I just literally lost because I didn't have the exact right chalk compared to no, I'm not playing that game tonight. I'm getting different, and I'm gonna just 3-man or 2-man against the field and win all the money.
Okay, well,
it's called Game
I do
Theory,
wish you
Matt.
luck.
Maybe you should check it out.
I'm perfectly aware of Game Theory. That's where Shane Goss's 2 assists come into play. But Jesus Christ, DJ, absolutely nobody cares about the preseason DFS slate. There are
right.
7 people in our contest.
Okay. Did you see Twitter today? I was getting a lot of love. So screw off. I had a bunch of people that were like, and then probably a lot of them were just gambling, but nevertheless, people care.
Okay. Well, then let's just okay. Well, you know what, DJ? Let's just talk about the preseason DFS slate. Hour and a half. Let's go.
All right. Okay, yeah, let's get into the good stuff.
Yes. I know. DJ mentioned it, but I should confirm the rumors. It is true. Taylor Swift was in the press box last night for my drafting performances, and I do have a new haircut that I took some. I went at 1 o'clock, booked the appointment. Went at 2, got my haircut. Was like, I got to be looking fresh for this GPP win on Tuesday night to get us kicked off in the NHL season.
Yeah, there's nothing like every single person on Twitter tweeting the same things over and over again about something that doesn't matter for winning money. And of course, I'm talking about your haircut and not Taylor Swift. But it's good times. NFL remains king. ESPN covering only that when there's literal hockey on. I just couldn't be me. But I don't complain.
Yeah, okay. So the plan today, we're going to do pretty standard stuff. If you are not subscribed to my newsletter, you missed another doozy. Basically, just, mostly in jest, some of it in, relevant. DJ had takeaways from it that I didn't even plan on, having people take away from it.
Do you want to talk about it?
Do you
want to talk about that for a second?
Let me cut to the chase because I didn't say what I was talking about before you started talking. I posted a new newsletter, so do subscribe to that. Primary Points. It's in my Twitter. It's linked in our Discord on the podcast feed. If you go to the most recent one, wherever you just find a link, it's there. Or DJ has links to everything now on his link tree because he's nice and cool. But yeah, so you missed that. I don't really think there's much to talk about on air though. If you're interested in the preseason, if you're interested in playing DFS or like betting on it, you might be able to get some worth out of it. Otherwise, there are things that we talk about on this stream, such as like player injuries and, like what to actually look for, rather than just like, chasing your tail following, this update, that update, this update, like, cut through the shit, find out what matters and, get through training camp with, learning stuff and not just overreacting to everything that you possibly can find. So, DJ, sorry. I wanted to make sure that was clear what I was talking about before you cut in.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to know if you actually wanted to like go over some of that. But it's really, kind of covered it. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Couple notes before we get started then into what I guess you wanted to talk about, because I asked what we wanted to do and you said I had a lot of ideas and then shared nothing. Drafters is going to fill like tomorrow. I thought Thursday. I was like, yeah, maybe we can make it's going to fill tomorrow. If you missed the boat and you want to try to get a few in, there's about 100 entries left. It's 8-man pools, so you can do with that what you wish. I'm going to just squeak in the 30, and I'm asking them to make more. No promises. No, nothing I really say. They like my tweets, but they don't answer. So I don't know. as I kind of put on the what's it called, the thumbnail, basketball's been just completely unfilled everywhere. I'm guessing a lot of the overlay people will jump in. I know. So, oh my God, Billy Jones. Yeah, Billy Jones was going to maybe do some math on that. So if you want to maybe get into basketball because it's terrible contest and it's going to overlay because no one cares about it, at least be informed. Definitely give him a follow. The football metrics are really good as well, so you definitely want to check him out over there. But
And the hockey
yeah,
posts. He tweeted at us with the hockey.
yeah, and the hockey. I
The
know.
stacks.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm just saying, it's getting to the point now where like Underdog is giving away pick'ems to just do one draft in the basketball. And
Yeah.
and I had some people go. One person tagged me and was like, "They get used for hockey. They don't need to. Hockey's gonna fill. Hockey rocks. The
Yeah.
product is the best." And they don't need to give away anything because we're actually a good sport that matters. And
we
care
have
about.
DJ to thank for that.
You say it, not me. Pavelski
I
from
did.
Robertson. Plate's over.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, so I was just going to share something kind of came up in passing in our Discord. Yeah, that is a very good point from Malik here. The NBA tips off like 2 weeks after NHL does. So
I know,
you don't
but
need to rush
just
into it unless you're
give me this one
trying to
victory.
chase that pick 'em. Yeah. Yeah, so basically it came up, was it Mike Berg in the Discord basically asked kind of an innocuous question about like top 2 versus top 3 advancing out of the regular season pods. To take a step back to to preface this, we showed a lot in our early episodes. I think episode 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even, I don't know how many of these there've been, but basically early on we showed a ton of data. I worked through in Excel a lot of like the different combinations as far as like, what does advance rate look like with X number of wings, X numbers, that sort of talk. He was sort of like spitballing some thoughts on, okay, well, that all last year was based on top 3 advancing. What would it look like if it were top 2 advancing? And we sort of talked about it, and it was like, yeah, we don't really expect it to change much. But lacking actual new things to talk about now that we're sort of like just barely beginning the preseason and we sort of tortured all the data we could muster. I wanted to take a quick look at that. Let's see, am I sharing my screen? Okay, that's not it. That's my preseason. Where is here? Okay. It's basically I lined up what the numbers would look like for some key areas that I was interested in, what the like top 3 advance looks like along the top, and then what a like theoretical top 2 advancement rate would look like along the bottom. So it's gonna be a bit tough to fit all these on one page, I believe. So let's start off super basic. All right, this I think is about as low as I can go. But yeah, so basically what's along the top is imagine that the contest is, well, it is what happened. It is the sort of environment we were playing in last year where the top 3 advanced out of each pod. And on the bottom is the what would happen if you basically cut out the 3rd place finisher in each of the pods and sort of judged advancement rate that way. So obviously that cuts it from about a 25% advancement rate to like a 16.6% advance rate. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at the lower edge numbers. But what we find is really that the patterns are remarkably similar across the board. My Excel is it's dying. There's too much stuff going on. But when you compare like the patterns on the top to the patterns right below it, we really do see a very strong lean toward the 7-3-3-3 build with 7 wings. It's kind of hard to dispute that regardless of the format. That is pretty clearly what has been working the best. Now, again, we've discussed several variations of that idea. Like, is it because the sharp people are doing that therefore it has better advancement rates? I think there's some sound theory behind it as well. So I'm personally, a very strict about my 7-3-3s. Just skipping some of this other stuff that I didn't really think matters. I really wanted to look at the upside. What does stacking get you? And so we talked about this before, and we didn't really find that it was that useful for getting out of your regular season pods. Like, it didn't really matter, how much you stacked or how big your stacks were. Stacking was sort of almost a detriment. And again, we have theories about why that is. But I wanted to say, okay, well, maybe if we get rid of the third place finishers, maybe we're sort of like cutting off some of the foam, and what's left left at the top are the best teams, and maybe those are actually very tightly correlated or something like that. And so, just quickly sharing that. Again, we know that the pattern was basically not present. Like, there was a slight lean toward having 7 skaters total stacked on your rosters. Having better advancement, but it's very, very spread out across the board. We see that pretty heavily here too. It's the colors are a bit wonky because I rebased it so that it wasn't just all red relative to what's on the right. But we do see 16% of teams advancing with 2 skaters, 17 with 12, 13, and no real variation in the middle. So yeah, it really is kind of interesting to me. Again, the whole stacking question, and we sort of look at max stack size, number of 3+ stacks. None of what we learned has changed. So we see here that even when we filter just on people that were quote unquote building optimally, we see a slightly stronger advance rate if you don't have a 3+ stack versus if you do. And so it's slightly muted. Relative, 5% delta versus like a 7% delta up here. But it really just frankly doesn't matter. So, stack if you want, but, if you're not stacking, you're probably getting the best player available. And yeah, so even though we're moving from 3 advancing out of the pods this year or last year to 2 advancing out of the pods this year, if we were to apply that to last year's data, it really wouldn't change the insights that we found, again, based on last year's data. So someone build a sim, you got 2 weeks to figure it out, and you can max 150 and win it all if you find something new with that sim. But for now, I really don't think there's much changing based on anything really that we've considered or thought about has sort of reinforced my ideas that, you really don't want to be overstacking on teams. You really just want to stick to the 7-3-3-3 builds. And yeah, that's about it. So DJ, any real thoughts there, or do you want to quickly sort of go around the league with training camp updates before we draft today?
My thoughts remain exactly the same. Stacking when you can, but it's not drafting. It's 2 or 3. Did I lose you?
You may have. You froze. It might have been me though. But I'm back.
Wait, did I lose you, or did you lose? What happened there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I lost internet or you lost internet, but I was frozen. So
yeah, you look frozen. Okay, but yeah, I'll just say it, I guess, again, but not as many words. It's just stacking isn't the most important thing when you're drafting. It's like second or third. So every pick is a decision tree for me, and if it correlates, is not as important as the absolute best player available. That's how I do it. It's better to have the optimized for positions, optimize your draft capital by position, optimize for ADP and taking the best players, which are kind of falling in line, and then correlation is up next. So yeah, I think that just it confirms it. Although maybe try to get 1 or 2 little stacks in there, and I think that's important, but don't go crazy. So yeah, training camp. Also, it's always a DJ problem because Jason Robertson scored 2.
Yeah, boy. Turns out fading the best play on the slate is not a great idea. Yeah, the drafters build is. Oops, sorry, DJ. That question about drafters. Without data to back it up, we're sort of guessing. DJ, what has your most common build been? Because I think, given there's 2D scoring, that you should probably be drafting more defensemen than just 5. But it could be off base. I can't draft in PA.
I've been doing mainly, actually, if you just heard that noise on the clock right now, but mainly I've been doing 8-7-3 and then 6-3, depending on what I've done.
Okay.
So not much off, but kind of dependent on how the lobby falls. But I've been definitely taking defensemen above ADP and trying to get into position where I think 6 makes sense to go with, because there's just so many forwards that are, I mean, like the last 2 drafts, I got Jonathan Marchessault with my last pick. There's a ton of depth at forward.
Yeah.
Defense, on the other hand, I was taking John Klingberg. It completely fizzles out because people are, so I think it's more correct, in my opinion, to do 8-7-3, but not based on much other than the fact that comparatively to Underdog, as you were alluding to, but one more total defenseman is scoring in theory. So like in an Underdog, you have 1, 2, 1, 0. So only one defenseman at minimum is going to score, to potentially 2, and you have to have 2 in the other format. So it's not exactly the perfect scenario, but it kind of is. Yeah, I know it is. It is, because 3 forwards, 2 defensemen have to score. There is no flex. No, I'm right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just okay.
I think, and again, we covered this in a bit more depth, I believe 2 episodes ago. It's even timestamped in the pod if you missed 2 weeks ago. But I think there's just such a priority on D scoring, because the drop off at the end of the draft is going to be so extreme. As the NHL becomes more and more one defenseman on per power play unit, which is basically all 32 teams at this point, outside of maybe a couple. You're just going to run out of viable offensive defensemen who can put up, fantasy points in that sort of way very quickly, versus, there's 4 forwards per team at minimum who are going to get those prime offensive minutes and, have that upside. And so it's just a math problem as far as like you're starting 3 forwards and, 2 defensemen and 1 flex. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to get a forward most of the time. But think about it toward the end of the draft. Basically, you're saying every, half of the defensemen in the league that are power play 1 are going to score in a given week, versus, I mean, geez, you're talking what, 24 forwards, 32 if you count the flex. Like, that is 1 forward per team that is scoring. There's 4 forwards per top power play. So it's just such a math problem that I think just overemphasizes D scoring. And so without the positional allocation between center and wing as well, it's just they're all in a bucket and they're all really, really good. It's not like Underdog where the wing is so weak, and so therefore the centers sort of get deprioritized because the wing position is weak. Like, there's just so many factors, I think, that make it a D heavy format. And so I think if you're drafting 5 studs on defense, it's actually okay. Maybe it's not all 5 are total number ones, but 5 in the first 9 rounds probably might be fine. And that's how you could go at 10-5-3. There's a lot more flexibility, I think, on drafters because of just the size of the contest, the size of the rosters you're building, and the scoring settings. I don't know. It's a fun problem though.
One correction: there is 2 flex, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but
nice.
2 flex. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, wait, I'm wrong about that one. But no, the other thing that I wanted to emphasize is there's no hitting. There is block shots, but also there's power play and shorthanded. Oh, shorthanded goals. I mean, defensemen. It might be a couple a year. Power play points, though, are emphasized and not hitting. So it's like, okay, you can't just get complete rates monsters and include hitting into that category as well. Like, you need guys that are going to get a lot of ice time. Power play is being, bumped up a bit. So it is kind of affording me to maybe draft a little more Fox, get my exposure over there, where I know the shooting might not be everything, but the power play points, the points in general, it'll kind of all come together. So I'm definitely overemphasizing. And as I start this draft with Matthews, Marner, and Dolly, and I'll also mention that I am kind of stacking a little bit more, trying to get as many 2 stacks as possible, but I'm not forcing it like others. People are absolutely going insane. And not only is it a place to draft Bouchard, but he was going undrafted early on. So my first 2 or 3 lobbies, I got him pretty late. And I had someone reach out and be like, you came into these lobbies to take all my Bouchard. And I was like, yeah, I was taking him at now he's 27th in this lobby. I had him at 92. And someone was like, you just came in and ruined my plan. I'm like, yeah, it's over. I'm here now.
Yeah.
It's a fun, and I really do think that first off, love Underdog. I love the format. I love everything. It's not against them, but I really do think the drafters format is probably like my favorite in theory, where it's not just like win a pod, go to the next round, win a pod. Like it is cumulative for the whole year, correct? Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm like kind of used to it, but I'm trying to look at
yeah,
the
that's
exact what it says. But yeah, it just starts, and then I'm trying to look at this. It
there's no
says
playoff period.
specifically. There's
Yeah,
no playoff period, but I was kind of wondering what it doesn't matter. I'm just you
it's
get the
like
point.
I don't even understand what you're going for there,
We're,
but it's like
it's
the
like
regular season in Underdog, like like football,
yeah,
but it's
okay,
only that.
that's a good way to put it. I was trying to think of something like rotisserie or
Okay.
whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? There's a
Uh,
word for it.
I don't, I, I don't think that's the right
No
term,
one
but
plays it. Yeah, no
maybe.
one plays it anymore, but it used to be like a pretty popular fantasy format where it was just like you scored every week and then the winning team with the highest score. And this to me, that makes more sense as like the best team actually won. I'm guessing the best team probably didn't win in hockey. It probably won't normally win. It's really hard to like, win 3 rounds of playoffs. And then it's like, like what's the theoretical optimal and underdog might not matter. Um, yeah, Roto. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's called. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is. I'm
Yeah,
stupid.
you're asking the wrong people. I've
Hmm.
I've never played anything like that. I've only ever done
Boy.
like fantasy 12-team leagues type thing.
Hey,
Okay.
transition though. Drafting Andre Vasilevsky right now.
Oh, well, there we
Let's
go.
talk
Yeah, it's a
about it.
great
Let's talk
transition
about
because
it.
that was the first. That was the first one. Yeah, so there was a very ominous quote from John Cooper about Andre Vasilevsky like not being ready to. I don't know. He's been practicing, so I don't really know. But basically, it was like, oh, he's like, what? He's I don't have the exact quote pulled up, but basically it was just like a shot at across the bow of like, oh, like he might not be ready to start the season. He's battling injuries apparently that are lingering from last year. Like these are all sort of things that John Cooper hinted at the other day. Um, and so it sort of is very easy for me to just sort of move him to the back of the tier until we actually see him in a preseason game. I'm not saying don't draft Vasilevsky. Like, I'm happy to take him if he falls to like after pick 30. But right now he's going at pick 26, and he's going right next to Sorokin, Ottinger, Saros, Georgiev, and Hellebuck is in that range too. So like I think it's reasonable to at least have a wait and see approach for the next, I don't know, day, 2 days, 3 days. How long until we see him in a preseason game and know he can go the full 60 minutes? Um, so that's sort of where I'm at on Vasilevsky. I'm interested if you have a different reading of what he said, or like if you're just trying to boost your exposure. Otherwise, because I don't know, I'm at 10%, so I'm fine to go down to 7 or something if I'll
Yeah. I
if I
mean,
need to.
he slipped pretty far past ADP in this draft. So
Does he?
I mean, he was like
Okay.
10. Well, this one he was like 10 after ADP, and he was on the ice today. So
Mhm.
with the morning skate wrapped up, begin to blah blah blah. Vasilevsky is on the ice for regular practice, and then he was working with the goalie coach in the non-game group, and there was video of him just kind of practicing in full. I'll retweet that
Okay.
video right now.
Yeah.
I'll just say Vasi update. But Vasilevsky looking like a goalie who is getting ready to participate. He is just out there. Is it 100%? No. Is it concerning? Absolutely. Like I don't honestly, it feels like Tampa Bay just is a bit dysfunctional right now overall. Like the Stamkos situation feels odd. That quote was weird. It was as if maybe he was like saying he didn't even know. It was weird. So yeah, I didn't like that either, but when I saw Vasi at practice today, skating around, taking shots, I felt a lot better.
Okay. Yeah, and I get that. That's fine. And I don't think, again, I'm not saying don't draft him. Like if we do a draft right now and he's there, after Georgiev is off the board, like sure, I'll take him as the back
Over
tier.
Hellebuck.
If I need a goalie. But yeah, probably not
Like
ahead of Hellebuck. I don't know.
is it right? Yeah, I'm asking the hard hitting questions right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I still have 0% Hellebuck, so I'll probably just be stubborn and do that. Again, I wrote in my newsletter a couple weeks ago why I'm doing it. It's not really a hard stance. It's just like I kind of want to feel something when I'm drafting, and that just feels like an area where if I dig in a little bit, I don't think he's the one to murder me. In any case, though,
Oh yeah.
he's not the only guy that there's some major lingering questions about. Logan Couture has basically gone from no updates whatsoever to all of a sudden like, oh, he's hurt, and all of a sudden today I think I saw he's week to week, which definitely puts his status for opening night in doubt. For a guy who's going as the last pick off the board, like it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, he's going as the last pick off the board. There's 28 centers there that you could perfectly easily draft that won't be hurt for opening night. So unfortunately, I think Logan Couture is kind of an X out until we get confirmation that he's playing. Um, Anything else? I know Florida's been an open question, but I don't think we've gotten anything new from those guys besides just knowing that Ekblad and Montour are both out until probably November, if not later.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like there was one.
Zibanejad.
Spencer Knight was in the first preseason game for Florida, which is a really good
Mhm.
sign. Just that he's probably going to be back.
Yeah.
That was good to see. And I'm not sure if that cuts into a ton of Bobrovsky. I kind of did that coverage in my preview for the year for them. I think that's the main thing. Pablo Francois. Is it Franco? Why can't I even remember Franco?
Franco's,
name.
I think.
Francois. There it is. He's like maybe not going to play this year, and that would put a Noonan as the backup. And I think it just furthers the Georgiev kind of in that group a little bit more. I've been getting a lot of exposure, and I think it boosts him just even a little bit more. It's kind of like Georgiev maybe level if you think that team is as good as the Rangers are. Like I think he's going to play a ridiculous amount of starts. That was one thing I noticed. I think that's probably the most of it.
I think for Spencer Knight in particular, I think the Bob like less starts is already priced in, honestly, because you're talking about a guy whose team is a favorite to make the playoffs, who was like, yes, I know Alex Leon or Lyon came in and was like, their guy for the last 6 games or whatever, and then start the playoffs. But like, let's be real, that wasn't projecting forward. You can't really project that forward. So Bob going at like pick 100, like around Devin Levi, just seems crazy. Unless you're sort of expecting, Spencer Knight to come in and take, 25, 30 starts like off the bat. So I think that's priced in. I'm not like avoiding Bob because of Spencer Knight being back. Again, I just think that was sort of assumed by the market. Yeah, there was a weird Mika Zibanejad situation where they were being coy. I think he's back, good to go. So keep an eye on him though. He had an upper body ailment or something or other that caused him to leave and caused the coach to give like a non-answer when they were like, "Oh, what happened to him?" We had games. DJ, Logan Cooley.
Yeah.
Are you buying the Logan Cooley now being drafted because he had a sick goal in Australia?
I mean, not really. There's just too many good centers at the end of drafts. Like it really shouldn't come down to that. Yeah, he's not in the first power play right now. It could change because he's really good. But I get it. Like I just think of like what's the best case scenario is probably Matt Beniers last year. I can't imagine it's much higher on a bad team that
that makes sense.
like he'd have to take over for Schmaltz. That's the only way, the only path, and it's there. I would just be kind of surprised if it happens early enough to where you're going to actually reap the benefits in a season-long contest of this format. Another one from games we've watched. Are you buying Klingberg over Morgan Riley?
I don't think I'm drafting either on Underdog. I'm just it really feels like you're not really winning either way. Like I am a longtime John Klingberg truther, so like I love John Klingberg still. And like even you sort of cut through the shit that last year was, and you look at it, he still had an above average shot rate for a defenseman, and he still was very good at producing points per 60 minutes. So like I think there's some juice to Klingberg, but I'm usually wrapping up defense before Klingberg goes anyway, like, before the end of the draft. And again, I just think there's going to be bounciness. There's going to be back and forth. I just don't think either of those guys are going to be the guy that you needed to have this season. Like Morgan Riley had a really good playoff, like blocks, hits, and shots wise, which has not really been his MO for many regular seasons now. So, maybe there's a new Morgan in town. But I really just don't think the uncertainty is something I feel obligated to buy into. Like I'm far more interested in buying into like the Chikrin, Sanderson type like power play guys, where like even if they don't get that power play one job, they're still really likely to produce like spike weeks just based on their hits, blocks, and shots involvement. So yeah, like I prefer Klingberg to Morgan Riley if you held a gun to my head, but again, I don't think there's a real need to draft either guy, to be honest.
I guess I'll disagree a little bit there. Like, I think they're probably both fine in theory, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know my exposure is on either. I mean, I zero on Underdog on Klingberg right now. I just hadn't really gone that far down that rabbit hole yet. I don't really know. Morgan I've picked up. I'm not unexposed probably, but I haven't really been trying. I don't think. I guess I have 16 more than I want.
Yeah, I have a 6.4% Morgan Riley, so I don't think I'm boosting that at all. But yeah, I mean, they go around Justin Falk, Rasmus Anderson, Michael Matheson. I think what we saw overseas with Sean Dursey was really inspiring. Just that they didn't have Valimaki on the top power play to start; they had Sean Dursey there. It's sort of just like it was like that little bit of uncertainty of like, shit, like maybe the Sean Dursey thing isn't real because, Valimaki was there last year and all that nonsense. So I think I'm just in on all four of those guys, not to mention Jake Sanderson. Jared Spurgeon's been like, I think I prefer Jared Spurgeon straight up to John Klingberg. Like, it's just one of those things where like, I get it. The Klingberg picks it sexy and it correlates with Austin Matthews, who obviously I love. But it just, again, I just don't. John Klingberg is not burying me this season, so I don't feel the need to take a stand on that uncertainty.
I think that's probably more than fair. Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing, we have a couple of players, that go really early that we've been monitoring injuries wise. It does seem like both Jake Gensel and Andrei Svechnikov are on schedule to basically, if not start the year, be back in like the first week. So we were keeping an eye on those two guys for like, okay, is this going to be like a couple games or like a couple weeks or like over a month? And so for both guys, as of what we know right now, it does seem like they're both on track to either play opening night or to play like within the first week of the regular season. So obviously keep an eye out for further updates, but as of right now, there's really nobody that we haven't mentioned in the top 50 or so that I'm like all that concerned about like being available for opening night that we haven't discussed. So with that said, anyone else or should we start drafting?
Just trying to look through while I'm drafting at the same time. I mean, Vander Kane was up with McDavid to start. That's pretty cool.
With Connor Brown.
Connor Brown. Yes. So just keep that in mind, although I don't think it's a problem still to draft Hyman, like if you want to get that exposure, but it is a little bit concerning for sure for your McDavid drafters that they aren't glued to the hip right now. This is another Coronado watch is definitely on. I think he had a hat trick, if I recall correctly, in the first preseason game. And I mean, I would keep an eye on where they end up slotting him in as we go on.
Read my newsletter. I don't care. I love Matt Coronado, but I don't care about the hat trick or his usage wasn't all that interesting. He was playing with a bunch of bums, so I don't really think there's a reason to draft Coronado based on the first few days of training camp beyond like what I already believe, which is that he'll earn like that top 6 job. But we haven't really seen much confirming that one way or the other at this point. So I don't think he goes all that often though. Even now.
So draft time.
Is it draft time? Sure. Let's
Yeah, I'm in.
pop in.
All right, I'm gonna pop in. I'm doing 2
1, 2,
drafts.
3,
and
go.
go.
Okay.
Red Wings.
Yeah, we got 9.
Oh
so
my
with
god!
the full draft.
The Red Wings
What?
missed the empty net. Nothing.
No.
I just bet the Red Wings to hit the puck line, and they missed the empty net. Wait, did they hit it?
I see.
Oh, they missed it again. They missed it again, and that bet's dead. Whoops. 5 more people.
Well, I love DJ live sweating. How fun. Okay. Well, in any case, yeah, it looks like we got a friends and family draft going. 4 people left. So get on in there if you want to draft alongside us. I don't know. Do the people want us to roast the drafts at the end again, or should we just go through a standard review? I don't know how well received that roasting was, and I don't know how many more inventive takes I can have off of people's garbage teams.
Every team's bad except for ours, and that was the correct take. Let me get my exposures. Doing too many things at once right now. Oh, there they are. Apply. 107? Yeah, 107 complete sounds right. Grab exposures. Let me know if it starts.
All right, we got 2 votes for the roast. We only got 4. We still have 4 left, so no immediate rush. I will go advertising in Discord.
David. Yes. Okay, I'll present. Okay. Yeah, drafters, I have 4 picks left. And shared. I think these exposures are right, although the rankings are still wrong, but I've given up on that.
Yeah, that seems like a worthy thing to give up on. Honestly, ADP does feel pretty efficient at this point. Like I don't like I have some problems with where some guys go, but most of my takes are like positional versus like actual fantasy relevance. So I don't know. Like yeah, that's basically my take. So I don't think you need to go crazy with rankings.
I am drafting. I am not tweeting. I am drafting.
Why not
I could be doing both. Oh, I did tweet too, didn't I? Well, I actually did look at Twitter really quickly just to confirm something. I also need to confirm my DFS garbage that I absolutely freaking failed on.
Did you seriously Buffalo with a heart? Okay, yeah, okay.
They won.
That's worthwhile.
They hit the first leg, Matt. This was going to be a whole thing, and then Detroit didn't hit the second leg, so I was going to do a quote tweet that with a broken heart.
Wow.
It's all going to come together. There's a method to my madness. We're waiting on one person.
You know it.
I would actually prefer them waiting just a little bit longer.
Jesus. Glad to know where your priority tonight, DJ.
I want to max drafters, so I had to be in on this action, but
you don't need to talk about it though. Like, how hard is it to draft a team without talking about it?
Impossible. Truly impossible.
Okay. I mean, you're not wrong. That is actually impossible for you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Pavelski might not kill me, but I should have just done Robertson and one shark. Not been an idiot. Okay.
All right. Draft build.
Give me the 101, baby. All right. I'll take a 3.
Slip me in at number 8. Perfectly fine with that.
But yeah, while we're drafting, so I can review my drafters team. This would be great.
If you're gonna screen share it, go ahead. Otherwise, don't care.
Wait, can I go tab by tab? Oh, I can. We'll do that.
All right, now nobody tell DJ when he's on the clock so that he misses. That he misses some picks.
All right. I'm just gonna do this on my phone. No. Ooh, wait. What did I want?
15 seconds.
I'm not worried. You know what? I'm actually going to do Bobrovsky here. I need a third goalie. I went Sorokin and Vasilevsky, so I was going to take one late, but I'll take Bobrovsky. Why not? Switch back. Who are you going to give me, Wookie? Who are you going to give me? I'll take either. I'm not picky.
DJ, you should zoom in if you.
Oh yeah, I'm actually like very zoomed out. I think for some reason. Yeah, I'm at like 75. What the hell?
I do this too on Underdog because you can see your team when you're zoomed out, but just for screen sharing
purposes. Is kind of a bit of a mess to do on the computer. It's not fun.
Yeah,
this is the build.
I wonder if it looks better in dark mode. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think.
Definitely not worse. Back on the clock.
Definitely not. All right.
I have Connor.
I am. In honor of tonight's festivities. Yep. Let's go. Let's up my 3 shares of Jason Robertson to 4 shares of Jason Robertson. Just in honor of DJ not playing him tonight and, being a complete donkey fish.
Honestly, so I'll just tell you, Matt, because I've kind of hinted at it. I had Brana Robertson, and then I thought, this is stupid. I'm just going to put in Pavelski. And then I was like, am I really just going to play the exact same lineup every single person's going to play? Should I just? And then finally, I Galaxy brained that I'm going to keep it. My Pedersen LeBanc with Blackwood.
Pedersen LeBanc. Oh, Jacob Peterson. Okay.
Peter Peterson. Yeah, Peter. It's not spelled. Listen, my bad. No. So and whatever, right? Like if Robertson gets another point, I'm completely dead. If LeBanc scores, I need him to score 2. I'm probably not going to get. I'm just not going to get there. It's okay. But Blackwood could get me there if he plays the full game because no one did. I think.
Yeah.
No. I think Tampa guy did, but Tampa guy got lit.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, he got lit
up. Score much.
No.
All right, so I am up at 17. I will get one of either Kyle Connor or Willie Nylander, so I'm happy to do that. Get out of here with your Timo and Mitch Marner garbage.
You're not taking Tage?
I'm not taking Tage. I have 6% Tage right now. And he goes anyway.
I'm up in the other lobby though. While you're picking, should I just take Aaron Ekblad because Dahlin, Pietrangelo, Dobson, Dunn, Anderson, and Falk?
Ekblad is not draftable IMO.
All right, I'll take.
I know there's. Yeah, I mean,
it's still week to week. It's not the full. It's not the. It's still like week.
But you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who might not score until January, and when he comes back, he's going to be when he comes back, he is literally going to be the power. Like he's going to be the number 2. Like Montour is the number 1. Montour is going to beat him back. So there's.
I think I took.
I don't know the
far in drafters for Ekblad.
Yeah, I don't know how deep it's. I don't know how deep
it's gone.
Drafters goes no one. Defensively.
I mean, Spurgeon is by far the best player on the board there. Wow. The gift that keeps on giving. William Nylander. Lo Ciento.
Okay.
Wookie. Center eligible.
Oh boy. Is that a Tage Thompson dig there, Kitties?
Who?
3rd line center in round 2. Yeah.
I mean, no, I think you're thinking Nylander. He started on the 3rd line center.
Yeah. That is funny. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's even better. Yeah, no, that's that is a very interesting I find it very strange that they brought in Ryan O'Reilly and were like, actually, John Tavares cannot play center anymore. Like, just why don't you center Tavares and Nylander and, see what happens. And now this season, they're going in like, all right, Willie, you're going to be our 3rd line center. Well, it's just kind of like, I don't buy it for a millisecond. I think if they were going to make Nylander a center, he would be centering John Tavares. So, prove me wrong, but yeah, that's not something I'm worried about. And besides, it's the power play that we really care about. William Nylander can sustain himself at 5-on-5 like any. He's like honestly one of the best like players in the league as far as like driving his own offense. So I'm not that worried. He's got a good team around him. So yeah, no fear here. No Willie hesitation whatsoever.
I'm not that worried. I ended up going with Ottinger over Gensel. I was very 50-50 on it.
Yeah, GA left me the goalie. I thought for sure he was going Georgiev there. But I will happily take the. Oh boy, DJ, you've got the chat. You've got the chat in shambles with your nonsense like take.
I'm so mad about that freaking game. It makes no sense, honestly. Just absolute garbage. They outshoot the crap out of them. They have a chance at the empty net. The one guy threw it softly down the ice right on net, and it was so soft the defenseman stopped it, and then they missed the second chance. Who cares about DJ's bets that failed? You're right, Matt. Thank you.
I'm so sorry that happened. No, I think you're just stupid for betting on the NHL preseason when you could just play DraftKings. Like, why do you even need to bet on?
Why do you
even need to bet puck lines? Like, what? Like, what are we doing?
I'm like a fool. Like, I'm having fun. Okay, I'm having fun. You wouldn't understand.
Does it make you feel something? Like, I honestly am just trying to jump inside the mind of like someone who's playing DFS. Like,
John Tavares.
Sure.
How do I do? I just want to look at my team. It was just here, and then it went away. It's impossible. Okay. I drafted. Oh my God, this is just unusable. Can this go away? Go away.
Okay, so the Drafters website getting rave reviews, and this isn't even one where I'm like, oh, but like, yeah, I see this. This is.
I can't even click. Like, I click up and it just says, okay, up one, down. Then you click down. Just nope, can't see it. My roster's down here though. I guess let's try this button. What does this button do? Oh, it goes to the next team. That makes sense. The plus button does nothing. The minus button does nothing. I'm going to miss my pick. Okay, how about this? Oh, there it is. Okay. Matthews, Marner, Tavares. Yep, he went there. He did. And then I did Connor and Ehlers because why not? Correlation will happen. Trust me. Eichel, Pietrangelo.
Trust me, these two guys who are not correlated and will never have correlated, they'll correlate now. Trust me.
Just a matter of time. Right. Gensel with no one. That's okay. Who cares? He's going to start, and he got 77th overall. Makes sense. Konechny. The defense is a little bit weak on star power. Not going to sugarcoat it, but Dahlin, Pietrangelo, Dobson, Dunn, Rasmus Anderson, Justin Falk, and Spurgeon. I mean, that's all power play one guys. Easy money. And then Sorokin, Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky. Talk about your Russian netminders. I as we say every stream, I just can't stop drafting Russians. I don't even mean to do it. I'm about to be back on the clock. Moody went with Johnny Hockey. Any thoughts on why you went with Jonathan Hockey the first?
Gaudreau at wing against Fiala, Panarin, Tuck, Skinner. I just prefer Gaudreau. I think he's the most likely to be the alpha on his team of that group. Obviously he didn't have a great season last year, but even then he was still very, very good as far as like his rates and everything underlying is concerned. And, honestly, I think I'd rather have more Gaudreau than Fiala when it all comes down to it.
All right. Well, back on the clock I am. And I'm going to take Mr. Tuck, who I thought some concerns that he wasn't on the top line, but Zach Benson was. I had someone that was like, what's up with that? And I was like, Benson's not going to be there. Maybe,
Yeah, but why wasn't he top power play today either? Like what?
He didn't.
Like Brett Murray is nobody.
Tuck didn't play.
You're right.
He had
You're
tightness
right.
in his
Okay.
leg, and they said they weren't going to do it. And then the coach said, Tuck really
Okay.
wants to go. Well, we
No,
decided to
you're right.
be
Yeah,
safe.
I forgot about that. I was a bit jarred when I saw Murray there. But yeah, you're right.
Have I ever not been right? Oh, Matt, you're in first in DFS. What happened?
I'm not sure what did happen.
Kevin Hay. Oh, that already happened.
I don't I don't think
Oh,
Kevin
you have
Hayes has
Wedgwood.
5 shots.
Okay, well, yeah, what? Yeah, the whole thing is all messed up. Freddie Anderson had minus
Yeah.
points last time I checked. I think they fixed it though. Nope, they haven't. It still says he has minus points, which is doesn't seem true. All right, Wookie, Kreider. All right, I'll take Evander Kane to get the Leon correlation. So Leon, Nylander, Tuck, Kane, and Ottinger for me. Matt, when you get back on the clock, I'll pull up your team.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can just take guys on the same team and claim correlation, but sure, whatever.
They are playing together right now. Oh, no, they're not. Wait, you're right. They're not. I just said to start the show. Kane's with McDavid.
Like they almost never have historically as well. It's
Yeah, I so used to drafting
like
McDavid.
unless they're
I guess
both with McDavid.
I just mentally did that.
Sure.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, but I
wasn't gonna
mean,
take all-
again, that's not the reason I would take Vander Kane, but Evander Kane for the rates he puts up and for the scores he can produce, like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine taking him on a team with Draisaitl. I have no qualms about it. I just wouldn't wave my hand at it and say, oh, well, it's correlation. Like I just think, oh,
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
a
that.
really
Yeah,
good
yeah,
rates player.
definitely,
All right.
definitely not.
Running back the hits, Miro
Oh
Heiskanen,
my
if you
god.
take Jason Robertson. I suppose this is a time where you gotta take Miro 20 spots after Bouchard goes. I want to say Bouchard went before me in the 4th round. Yeah, Bouchard went at 40. So okay, fine. 16 spots after Bouchard. That sounds about right for Miro Heiskanen. I'll pull the trigger. And yes, I'm sorry, Sean. I don't mean to disparage people who bet on the NHL. I disparage people who play DFS, talk all about DFS throughout this entire show, and start complaining about their bets in addition to DFS while we're talking about a different form of gambling on hockey. Like this man just has an affliction. Yeah, it's just a tough scene out here being on a show with DJ.
Some people call it
Today
being a
apparently.
5-tool better. Smart people call it that. They're like, this guy's a 5-tool better. He can do everything. He covers all his bases.
Boy.
He doesn't miss a beat. That's what most people say. So I've been told.
Sure.
Just leave the comment and just say Alpha DJ or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to put words in anyone else's mouth. I'm already saying what I've been hearing around, the streets. But yeah, whatever you want to put, just, I think 5-tool better is the right way. No one else is doing it. No one is giving you preseason hockey bets. All the news, Underdog, drafters. I mean, what else? What else could you want? I can't even imagine.
I think you punched your mic and kind of broke it, and that's very funny to me.
I know.
You faded out pretty heavily.
That's weird. I hit like the bar.
Stop doing that because when you do that, it just fades your voice out.
See, this is the setup now. This is the light.
Yes, I understand what happened. I'm just again commenting on the fact that you're out here punching stuff, and it just makes an already awesome stream even more unwatchable for the viewers.
This is a perfect stream. We're having fun.
GA, haven't I buried Miro? I mean,
you did.
That is why I have whatever. I can't pull it up. I think I had like 3% Miro at this point. So I'm not that big a fan of Miro Heiskanen as a fantasy player. But I wrote about the path to his upside in my fades article. So obviously I was fading Miro, but when you consider the fact that he has a very similar statistical profile to Rasmus Dahlin before last season, minus a few hits and blocks. But what Dahlin did was he went from a below average shooter to an above average shooter. And not only did he start taking more shots, but he started taking more dangerous shots. He started creating shots for himself. And that was really what elevated Dahlin's game to the next level. Heiskanen has said the right things in that regard. Again, the beat reporter, I'm not sure which one, basically put out like a full in-depth thing about like, what he talked about needing to do. And it sounded like music to my ears as far as like he knows he needs to be more patient with the puck. He needs to make shots for himself and improve his shot, quite frankly. And so, yeah, like I'm not totally fading Miro Heiskanen. And when I have Jason Robertson, like, of course, that's going to be a good spot to, tack on a Miro, but I'll probably be underweight, under 8.5%. When it's all said and done, I just, I'm not that take locked, I guess.
Yet. All right. Boy. This is really trying to bait me into taking my second Barkov share, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take Ehlers because everyone's seemingly all of a sudden fading my boy. This is finally the year it comes together. He's back on the ice. They said he wasn't going to play in the next preseason game, but he's definitely ready. I'm not afraid. This is the year of Nikolai Ehlers.
I'm holding the football for you, Charlie Brown.
Well, I mean, last year he was going like 30th. Actually, you probably have it up right now. He was going real freaking early, and he absolutely did not get there. But this is the year. He's going to play 80 games.
This is a ploy for you to make me miss my pick. I'll be so salty.
All right, you're up in 3.
Let's see.
You're up in 2.
Let's see. Ehlers.
Ehlers'
ADP last year was 47. He went between 22 and 72 as like his range. So his last drafted spot last year was about where you got him. So yes, there is a bit of a discount, but it's another year. It's just another year of him not doing much, and
I think they're being ultra cautious with him. I think he's fine. He skated. They just said after the practice he's not going to play on Wednesday or whatever, Thursday, whatever it was, but he'll be back. I'm not worried. These are hockey players. They'll play.
We do not condone violence on this show. I am in favor of an NHL with no physical contacts. I don't want my darlings getting hurt. So yeah, that's out of the picture. All right, I have very little Drake Batherson, but we're in a very weak wing range, and the centers here are not enticing to me. I really don't want to stack Hintz with Robertson, so I will take Drake Batherson. I don't want to stack Hintz with Robertson and Miro. Obviously, I get that those 3 are all correlated over the course of a season, but I think I'd rather have more outs to producing a weekly score at center than just saying, oh, well, if my wing and my D are scoring really highly, also I want my center to score really highly. Like, I think I'd rather just take 3 centers that aren't correlated to that and hope that, I get spike weeks throughout the year versus a player who I just don't think is a great value at ADP in Rupe Hintz. So, Billy, if you like betting on NHL, I'm not sure if this has been addressed yet, but just follow DJ. He does all sorts of bets. I'm not really interested in, I bet on the Australia games. I was just looking through I bet the over in both games and, so I split it. So I lost a little bit of money because of that. But for the most part, I'm only interested in fantasy and betting player stuff. I don't really care about the team level outcomes. I'm not trying to predict those nearly as much as I am using the Vegas, odds to try and project player performances. I just find that much more enjoyable for me personally.
That's fair. Yeah.
What did your team look like at this point, DJ?
Draisaitl, Nylander, Tuck, Kane, Ehlers, and then I went with Ottinger, Skinner. Just gonna go kind of alpha goalie.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a fun time.
I am about to hit the clock with Stamkos at center, Robertson and Miro paired, Kyle Connor, Johnny Gaudreau, Drake Batherson, so 4 wings, and my 1 goalie in Georgiev. So I'm probably looking at a defender here based on the range that we're in. Let's see. I could take Big Val. I really like Val and Bushnevich, honestly, at ADP. But Yeah, getting Sergachev a few spots after ADP does sound kind of nice. So I do think I want to be around the field on Sergachev. Versus right now I'm at 20% John Carlson, and I like John Carlson a lot, but I am aware that Sergachev does sort of profile as a very good rates monster if he does get power play one time. So just sort of making that bet on the season, um, is one that I'm willing to make when he still goes 15 spots after Hedman.
Yeah. Like and subscribe is probably the correct thing to say right now as well. But yeah, given all the goods, there'll be more. I'm posting all my season preview videos right now on YouTube as well. I'm gonna, as soon as we're done with this, do Minnesota, and then that'll be out tomorrow. So we're halfway there in GA. I think. No, actually, I didn't even look at the graphics yet. I gotta pull those up. I think the Wild. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet. I haven't really thought. Matt, what do you think about the Wild next year?
What do I think about the Wild? I think Marco Rossi is going to take the next step to be an NHL center.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, unless you want me to talk about Adam Beckman, who's apparently not going to be playing for the Minnesota Wild because the Iowa Wild already announced an Adam Beckman bobblehead night at one of their games.
Guy is electric.
I'm a little salty about that.
I'm pretty sure I looked it up and he was either first or second in shots per game in the AHL last year. It's like cool.
He's so good.
He's so
much
good.
fun. I was really tempting to play him tonight in fantasy in whatever the hell we're doing. Let's see. He has an assist, but he has one shot on goal. So
Wedgwood's still going, by the way.
Oh, nice.
He's going all the way. I capitulated almost to Wedgwood because I watched his interview and he kind of made it seem like he might be doing it, and I stayed the course.
Yeah, DeBoer saying that with Wedgwood's injuries and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, just you got to be grinding the coach speak for DFS, not necessarily for not necessarily for underdog stuff. Like I don't really care what he says about the line combinations or whatever, but I think for DFS that is pretty worthwhile, and why I enjoy the NHL preseason so much, because the only constraint is your imagination. Like you can play whoever you want.
Yep, and I did that tonight. And if I just should have kept Robertson and just done Robertson and LeBanc and not overthought it. And I think I'd be in quite the spot. But if LeBanc goes for a hat trick, who's to say?
Indeed. So, all right, I am about to hit the clock in an interesting situation because it looks like a center and D, just graveyard out here. Like there's just all these guys left. Wing has really dried up. Honestly, we're looking at Bertuzzi, Ben Arvidsson, and Taylor Hall at the wing position versus RNH, Aho, Larkin, Kairu, Kempe at the center position. So it feels really bad, but I'm going to grab some John Gibson here at pick 115 or what, like his ADP 115 at 104. Picking between Anderson, Husso, and Gibson. I maybe prefer Husso, but I don't know. It's gross, and I need a second goalie.
I was really considering taking RNH and just doing the truly non-correlated Draisaitl Kane RNH, but then I feel like that's legitimately taking three guys that are just not playing together just to do it. Or was RNH on the? I can't remember now. Was RNH with Draisaitl?
I mean, he'll be on the power. Well, he was playing with Draisaitl and Hyman, but I mean, that's one game. We don't really. I'm not reading into that whatsoever.
There he goes. Anyways, thank you for not making me do that. Man. Okay. Just I checked in on drafters quickly because I have two more that are not yet or have yet to start, and it's at 926 of 1,000. Wowzers.
Very
I
nice.
will be up till midnight finishing my 30. I'll be 27-28 for a slow. And I have a million slows going. I just had to. I had no choice.
Okay, so it looks like I may have jumped the shark by taking Sergachev in the 7th round or whatever it was, because now the top, 6 of the top 12 or something are defensemen in terms of ADP. Because I'm really not comfortable closing up my D position, I am going to punt wing for a little bit longer and wrap up my goalie position with Carter Hart.
Over
Carter
Husso.
Hart fits my goalie room, I think. Okay, so I'm fine with that.
I'm dropping a lot of Husso.
Detroit plays only. So again, this is all like probably overthinking it for sure, but just looking at the playoff schedules, as far as like how many games started in a given week, which by the way is pinned in the Morning Skate Pod Discord. If you want that handy, I'm only using it for goalies, but theoretically you could build it out for centers and defense and stuff too. In any case, with Gibson and Georgiev on my roster, one of the weeks that's weak for them, they're both on teams with the lowest number of games played in the week. Hart had an extra game that week, and Husso didn't have the extra game that week, so again, it's all just I'm trying to get 3 starting goalies on these teams. I don't really care who. Just guys that I'm comfortable with being the 1 or 1A late in drafts. And I think Hart is almost certainly the one with a bullet. So I'll probably be getting him some more.
Wow. All of the defensemen get to me. I honestly have considering
I think
Montour,
you're in a good position. Yeah.
With missing time, I think I'm just going to go with Pietrangelo. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I have a lot of them already, but the rates are really good. The power play 1 projection. I think Morrissey and Pietrangelo kind of solidify skipping D for as long as I did. There goes Montour. I think Montour could be back in November. I don't think that's that crazy to think. So it's fine, but I'm gonna hold off. I got the 1-5-2-2. I've gotten a lot of Aiden Hill already. I don't really love it, honestly. Again, Logan Thompson is back. He started the first preseason game and seemed fine. I don't know if he'll be, stealing too many starts, but I'm starting to think that could be a little bit worse than I imagined. So
yeah,
I'm gonna. What you say?
It's weird that they gave him 5x5, or sorry, not 5x. That they gave him $5 million for what? 3 years? Yeah.
So
that's just a lot of money to pay. I think they're going to play Hill. Yeah, but again, that's a guy that I'm very low on as well. Both Hill and Thompson, even though I think Vegas will be very good again. I have 5 total shares of those guys just because I think it's more than likely that, the max goalie there sees 45 starts. And that's just not something I want to buy into when I believe there's goalies out there that are going to get 55 starts across the league. So
I think Grubauer could be one of them. If Grubauer is good, he will get those starts. And he played really well in the playoffs. He got them in. I'm willing to bet on him here. And Ottinger, Skinner, and Grubauer are all 55 start plus. Ottinger with a bullet, and then Skinner very likely. So I feel really good about my goalie room. Defense, like I said, kind of came together. And I still only have Draisaitl, but I'm not that worried about it. I never really noticed anyone other. I think this guy, he took his 4th center there, but I haven't noticed much in the way of overdrafting centers in this room. So I kind of feel good about the more slipping as we go through, if people just don't want to grab their last guy. Kind of my theory as to have weight. And I think you're up next.
I just picked.
Oh, I
reached for Betzer. Wing is picked over. I'm really not excited to draft Jamie Benn ever, so I'm just avoiding Lucas Raymond. At ADP, I'm fine taking Lucas Raymond, but I already have 8% of him, and I honestly don't think I want to be over the field at low hundreds ADP. I was fine when he was going in the 15th round or whatever to start, but I'm not. I'm not getting great vibes out of Detroit camp with him. I think DeBrincat's basically taken his role, which is a bit unfortunate for his ADP, but again, I just want to see a little more before I go back in on the Raymond streets, given I'm already at the field, matching the field with my exposure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm
And I
way
feel pretty
over.
good about Besser just being a
Yeah.
quality NHL producer at wing, which it's tough to come by in these streets.
These streets they do be dripping. Yeah, so yeah, about number one center in Nashville being O'Reilly. He's still just not viable in this format with him not shooting the puck. I'm not really worried about that. I think I honestly I think Nashville could be better than expected, and I think they'll be fun. They have Burnett at coach now. I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
Remember what he did in Florida? Like, I'm optimistic that they'll wheel and deal and they'll just hope Saros can bail him out. But I don't think that's going to make Riley viable at center. O'Reilly,
yeah, and
for that matter.
despite his defensive reputation, he offers nothing by way of hits and blocks either. So like you're just getting nothing out of him. And honestly, I think what that mostly does is it takes a lot of the shine off of like, super flyers such as like Tommy Novak and like even Juuso Parssinen, what was there in smashing at some points last year. So yeah, I just think Nashville's a pretty easy stay away outside of UFC Forsberg Saros. Like just this format won't really reward you for being right, and I just don't see the need to take on the significant risk that all those players offer up. All right,
Fair enough.
Jamie Benn on this team with Miro and Jason Robertson, 20 spots after ADP. Versus the alternatives of Brian Rust, Anders Lee, Riley Smith. Like, Christ, like this guy's got to be on the top unit for a little bit longer. God, that hurts me. But at some point you just gotta bite the bullet. Stop the slide.
The next drafters lobby is full. We're gonna hit 28. How fun.
Oh boy. Great.
Don't talk. That Mark was right there, and you are a fraud. True stories all around.
I am a stacker. I am stacking Dallas here. You will note that well, actually I didn't even realize I had Sergachev and Stamkos. That didn't even cross my mind for a millisecond when I grabbed Sergachev off the board. Okay, yeah, I am a stacker, I guess. I think Stamkos and Sergachev can certainly get there independently of one another. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. Yeah, Dallas is definitely a stack. Like Jamie Benn going 20 spots after ADP. Like, feels like if I'm going to take him, this has to be the spot that I take him. Because, like, if he has a great season, I think it's because Robertson is paying off a top 10 wing ADP. It's because Miro Heiskanen, continues to be the elite point producer that he was last year, especially down the stretch. So yeah, I'm a stacker. Like, just call me for what it is. But the rest of my build really isn't with stacking in mind. Like, I'm not grabbing Joe Pavelski because of that. Fat Mark, maybe before yesterday I would have considered him. I'm at 6% Scheifele. But after yesterday's debacle where I played Mark Scheifele over our Lord and Savior Ryan Johansson on the NHL Showdown slate, the NHL preseason slate. It's just not happening tonight. I'm sorry, Mark. It's not happening for you there.
Yeah, I was very 50-50, and I was like, am I really going to take a third guy that like doesn't actually correlate with Ehlers? I was just like, screw it. I really want more Eriksson Ek. I have 11% that Mark and very little Eriksson Ek, and I think that rates wise, I'm pretty sure Eriksson Ek kind of rocks. I don't know about hits. I guess I can't do that now. I'll look it.
He had 119 last year, 138 the year before, so a touch over 1.5 per game or so.
Yeah,
he's a great shot producer.
All right, I'm just gonna take Darnell Nurse and just do it though. I'm just gonna say Leon, and it's at this point it's gone too far.
I think that's a good pick.
I'm gonna take Pastrnak in the other draft at 6. Just wheeling and dealing right now. Where are you going to watch someone draft two different teams at the same time on two different websites for hockey? Good luck. That's what I'd say. Good luck finding it.
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You're right.
All right, Matt, I'm going to let you make my next pick. I'm about to be up. I've already taken Pasternak. Kaprizov or Kucherov? It's Kaprizov, right? Just take Kaprizov.
Kucherov.
Really?
I love
I'll do it.
Kucherov. I think
I'll do it.
Kucherov. I would take Kucherov up the honestly, I was considering Kucherov where I drafted Robertson. So
Yeah.
all right,
I mean, and I think my last time you're on the clock. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Fat Mark?
No, I'll wrap it up with Justin Falk. I think Falk is a smash at ADP. I don't think Torrey Krug is going to come in and be the power play one guy this year. Just after the awkwardness that was the offseason, his injury coming in. And Falk offers, like stat stuffing category type scoring as well. Like you're not just relying on points with Justin Falk. So I think with some power play upside at pick 150, that's a great selection by me. Well, great job.
Anaheim scored. Slate, which was already over for me, is super over. Tough noodles. Mackenzie Blackwood. I had a dream, and he failed it. You try to get cute, you get punched right in the mouth.
Do you know who scored?
Do I know
Was
who
it
scored?
Frank the Tank?
Probably. I didn't even look. As soon as I saw Anaheim scored, I just got rid of it from my livelihood. It still doesn't say.
Maybe it was Olin Zellweger, the god himself.
I'm on the clock. And one up, it was Leeson.
Brett Leeson, former Capital.
So Pasternak, Kucherov, and Erik Karlsson start over on drafters. I was going to take Dahlin, and he went right before me.
All right. Is the NSP is the chat just trolling me here by leaving Joe Pavelski and just trying to entice me to take him as one of my closing centers? Because it's working. I mean, you see what's going on here, people. Like, if you're gonna give me Dallas Stars 20 spots after ADP, like I'm going to take it. Like, it's not like, oh, I love Joe Pavelski more than like Lindholm or Reinhardt or Natchez, but like look, it's there. Like yeah. So
okay.
I mean, yeah. So sometimes you just got to tell the people that stacking doesn't work. Invent a bunch of data that shows stacking really not mattering as far as your success rates, and then just stack the hell out of contests to really. It's not so much to mislead you all; it's to confuse you all, so that when you're drafting, you have no idea what to do, and then you wind up doing things like taking Phoenix Copley in the first round, and who was it? Frederick, I think, went in the first round of someone's draft earlier today that I saw. But yeah,
I'm grabbing.
God, just stack that bitch up. Thank you. I love the excitement. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give the people what they want, and if that's stacked, perfect teams, well, I'm your guy. Now, do I draft Wedgwood to really cap off the Dallas vibes?
Seem pretty good. You know what? I'm going to get weird with my last winger pick. I'm not going to go right down Main Street. I think I might just take Reinhardt, honestly. Would Reinhardt make the most sense here? I don't really care about stacking, I guess. I mean, Zegras stack, but whatever. I'm going to go Reinhardt. No, I want to draft him. There it is. There it goes. All right. Last pick will be a wing for me. And Saros. So my start. Oh, okay, it went through. Pasternak, Kucherov, Ovechkin, Saros, Erik Karlsson on the other side. So could be a couple goals there.
Damn, Billy took Kadri. I'm really like last round Kadri is really enticing to me.
Yeah.
I hadn't really dug into GA made me laugh. I'm really I hadn't really dug into like last year's rates. I just sort of know where each player fits in like internally. But lost in sort of the sauce of just the awfulness that was last year's Calgary team. In his first year of the team, Nazem Kadri was somewhere in the top 20 or 25 in iCourse per 60. Like he was just dominant on the puck, shooting, so that was fun to see. All right, I'm up here.
Zellweger scored.
That dude is so good. I think the Jamie Drysdale train is being derailed by Olin Zellweger, who is otherworldly. All right, I grabbed Vinny Trocheck as my third center.
Amazing to watch the slip.
Ooh, should I have taken Wyatt Johnston there? I should have taken Wyatt Johnston there to really troll the people.
You're trolling yourself.
Again, I know what I'm doing. It's to confuse everybody else.
I kind of like my build here. I mean, I'm obviously going to finish with a winger, 11 picks away. So I'm gonna kind of look around. I have a few names in mind. I'm not worried.
GA. I'm naming this team I hope Moods wins with Dallas stack. I mean, I hope I win too. That is something we can agree on. Okay, good.
But there it is again for you.
Thank you.
And then we had the Blackwood
on the screen.
Yeah, Blackwood is dust. Complete and total dust. Not great. Oh my God, this drafters lobby is a fucking torture. What the hell? Every defenseman. Am I just taking Victor Hedman? Cannot believe that guy took Morrissey. All right, who's your last pick, Matt?
I have no idea.
Good. I'm taking Sergachev.
Yeah, like we know Wing is entirely picked over at this point. Could take Blake Wheeler to go with Vinny Trocheck for the fans. That would be a fun one. This Vancouver stuff with both Besser and Kuzmenko on the power play comes at the direct expense of Anthony Beauvillier, who's been a very common last round pick of mine. I'm just going to click a name that, I don't have high hopes that this player cracks my roster all that often. But Yuri Slafkovsky, the first round pick or first overall pick last year, should be healthy. Looks back. I don't know. I've sort of been digging around like this Slafkovsky, Brendan Gallagher type stuff, and I think there's at least one person there who could be a really dominant force as far as not just shots and production. But I think the Harvey Pinard experiment's over, so there might be a power play job open for someone like Slafkovsky or Gallagher. We'll see. I'll dig into it some more, but I do think there's some Montreal stuff beyond just the Suzuki Caulfield that is interesting. Kirby Doc is a center, so he's not really in play. But guys like Gallagher and Slafkovsky, I think, are at least decent. So I'll take my first Slafkovsky share here.
I'm not going to take JT Comfort, but I just noticed he's a winger and not a center.
Yep.
Didn't see that before. You don't say. You just don't say. All right. What defenseman's left? Uyghur. There's a good one. All right, I'm gonna take Tanner Janelle. I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna believe in the Janelle train. The hits are coming. He's gonna have
Hop
25.
on board.
I'm on. I just jumping in. Yeah, I don't hate this team. I don't hate it. No, I want to look at it. I want to go back. I want to nope. Why did it kick me out? Is it still going? Yeah, it's still going. Why did it?
What?
Okay.
No, it's
I didn't even
completed.
click it.
So it
Yeah,
closes
I
out when
know.
it's completed.
Okay.
Welcome to the desktop, DJ.
I want I'm normally I wanted this. You see. Oh, it didn't pull up. What is going on?
We're having a good show.
Oh, my computer's just being annoying. And I'm on the clock in drafters. Okay, this is what we want to share. I'm up next. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and Matt, you're gonna do the first team while I make my pick. Okay, I guess. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so I Like Kitties shows up, gets to 101, last pick in, or sorry, last team in, first pick on the board. Very quickly has to take goalies in Darcy Kemper, Jordan Bennington, and Sam Montembeau, who between them might win 30 games this year. So, an interesting start with Connor McDavid and Elias Pettersson, 1-2, like, okay, alpha center. But Zach Hyman as your first wing, Artemi Panarin as your third wing, Tyler Toffoli, Andrei Kuzmenko, Jacob Vrana, and Max Pacioretty. Like, woo, boy, there's a little bit of low T there as far as like, who's the guy who's going to get you, I don't know, one hit. Like anyone, one hit, anyone? Nope, can't find it. All right, so Zach Hyman's going to have to pull a lot of weight here, and it'll be very normal for Zach Hyman, given it looks like he'll be pulling around the carcass of Leon Draisaitl this season instead of the great spot of being with Connor McDavid. So there's I Like Kitties for you. Elite name, of course. You can't roast that. It's the perfect underdog name, and I'm perfectly jealous every time I look at it. So DJ, why don't you roast Wookie for us?
I mean,
Or, I'm sorry,
Wookie
are you still on the clock? And
No,
do you need
no.
the draft? Okay.
No,
okay.
I'm good.
Just making
Wookie
sure this
really-
show works for you, because you're not working for us and the audience. You're like, we're working for you.
Are you finished? Wookie's team, honestly, I like the start. I don't know why you're going to reach for Svechnikov when Jake Gensel's right there. You could take either of the two potentially injured guys to start the season. Svechnikov, well above ADP as he's slipping, very sharp. Eric Carlson, because gotta get the guy that's gonna regress to the mean without anyone correlated to him. Went on to take Kreider, no complaints there, but then Jonathan Huberdeau, completely undraftable at 71, to make sure that you absolutely lock in 40 assists and 10 goals. And then I'm not even going to roast too much of his team here. I mean, we have Sorokin, so Vanacek, whatever, but you needed a third goalie. Let's just skip everyone else. You got Hagel, Malkin, Theodore, Riley, Dunn. Okay, Nate Chas, Burakovsky. You drafted Mackenzie Blackwood.
Have you checked the score, DJ?
Is it 3-0 now? It's 3-0 now. Mackenzie Blackwood cannot stop the San Diego Seagulls. And you drafted Mackenzie Blackwood with your last pick. I don't even know if I want to roast another team. We can't top that.
That is the troll of all trolls, and I really do appreciate Wookie for trolling DJ in this way.
My night. Congratulations to him and to him alone. Now I'm going to draft Forsberg in the other lobby, and then I guess I'll go over my own team. Did we roast our own teams last time, right?
We did last time. So
do you want to roast my team, or what do you want?
I mean, I will take the honors if you're offering.
Roast my team.
All right, so you load in a lobby and you don't get the influencer 101, and you just completely panic by taking Leon Draisaitl at 3. I mean, this dude sucks. He's not going to play with Connor McDavid, dude. Like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? You I don't know. Maybe you just got to take Devin Levi there and just lock in the Sabres #1 goalie. But after that, I think you recovered, grabbing William Nylander, the third line center. I can't steal that. That was probably the best roast that we have of the entire show, and I didn't even get it for the first 5 minutes. So maybe that's a roast on myself. I don't know. But Jake Onger in goal, Stuart Skinner, and Philip Grubauer, perfectly fine. Nothing to complain about here. After William Nylander, though, you take Alex Tuck, who we talked about. He's already hurt. This guy's paper mache. But not to be concerned. You grabbed Evander Kane, Nick Ehlers, and then later on Anthony Duclair and Tanner Jeannot. All guys with an illustrious history of staying perfectly healthy within the last, calendar year and a half. So a great outlook there. Troy Terry doesn't even have a center. Zegras is currently holding out for more money, or any money at all, I guess, is how that works. So with a contract without a center, Troy Terry trying to pass the puck to himself, might be in a world of hurt here. And then finally at defense, you get some good values in Josh Morrissey and Darnell Nurse. And then you grab Alex Pietrangelo under the guise of him being on the first power play, which, I'm not sure what planet you're living on, but I don't think it's this one. So it's a fine team, but I not the wing pool for me.
Darnell Nurse is not on the first power play. I got him 25 after ADP. So that's
no. You said Alex Pietrangelo was on the first power play.
Oh, because he is. Okay, you're right. You're just being a loser. Okay. Billy Jones, who I'm sure honestly, the only thing I'm gonna just right off the bat, one winger in the first 6 rounds is an interesting take from what we've learned. But you know what? When you have Nathan McKinnon, Shesterkin, and Jake Gensel, it's really, it's a good start. I gotta say, Dougie Hamilton, Braden Point, and Moritz Seider seem a little bit excessive with the beginning of McKinnon going double defenseman. I think you recover with the 3-7-3-3, but boy, I'm guessing when the winger avalanche room, it probably doesn't get there all the way. While I draft Drew Doughty, Owen Tippett, Devin Levi. So you do have the 2 best goalies in the world, at least. That's a good start. I gotta say, you're winning goalie in this lobby. That's great to hear because you have a literal Jedi and the best goalie in the league. Good. A winger rampage of Zuccarello, Lehkonen, Tom Wilson. Again, perfect pick there. Brian Rust and Ryan Hartman to completely lose at the winger position to everyone else that's going to draft after you. And I mean, clearly me as well, who is a perfect drafter. Finishing off with Schmid. So you get 3 starting goalies. That's good. But never going to score when you already have Devin Levi. So you might as well stop at 2. Nazem Kadri to finish a winger room or a center room that probably didn't need a third center. And Mackenzie Weegar, which I would have gone winger myself for sure because you already locked up Dougie and Seider. I would have just stopped right there. Matt?
Yeah, anytime you can get Hartman and Zuccarello without Kaprizov, you just got to do it. Those guys are very self-sustaining offensive weapons. All right, let's move on to drill here. We have our first entrant into the I don't know how centers work sweepstakes with Matthew Tkachuk in the first round. But later on, he grabs Sidney Crosby at 44, a good value. Jack Eichel at 68, okay, yeah, good value. Oh, wow. Alex Barkov fell to me at 77. Oh, okay, good value. Oh, Adrian Kempe at 125. Yeah, that's pretty good value too. Oh, look at that. You got 4 centers. Not a lot of wing help after Matthew Tkachuk. You get Brad Marchand, who is officially the captain. I think I already made a joke about him licking people last time, so maybe he'll headbutt someone for you on this team and get some fantasy points that way. Vladimir Tarasenko and Mark Stone, who are far more likely to wind up on the season-ending injured reserve than they are the winning Best Puck Classic team. Anders Lee and Jonathan Jewin, who are more likely to wind up on a milk carton because they have gone missing during the regular season than they are to wind up on the league winner. So outside of that, though, you get UC Saros and that. You figure you're good until you get 2 backups in Logan Thompson and Marc-Andre Fleury. So, Drill's out here vibing. We appreciate Drill joining our draft. But maybe next time, listen to any one of our shows we've done before you draft next time. Please and thank you.
Okay, that brings up MK Berg. Pasternak Timo start because he really, really, really wanted to piss off Matt with taking Timo Meier instead of William Nylander third center. on the Maple Leafs, but thank you for letting him get to me. Vasilevsky, not afraid of the injury at all. Love to see it, as I probably saved him by getting well after ADP Vasilevsky, who practiced in full. So actually probably sharp because you listen to a smart person. Because of Benachet, why is it turning into me just like patting myself on the back instead of roasting someone? I guess that's just when you're the thought leader, it happens. Patrick Laine, Travis Konechny. I'm trying to find something good to roast here. I guess Nico Hischier is a bit of a question mark for me in a winger avalanche room, getting the getting the correlation with Timo Meier at the cost of having a chance to win winger. I'm having a tough time finding anything to really roast. This is a pretty solid team. Jake DeBrusk, not power play one. I guess if you're already building a not power play one team with Timo Meier, you might as well add Jake DeBrusk to the mix. Smart to make sure you're getting as much power play two as possible. Saves himself. Billy Husso, if you gotta get a sub 900 goalie to go with Vasilevsky, who's been playing through injuries. Again, another power play two defenseman in Chris Letang. Saves it with Noah Dobson, David Perron, backup Phoenix Copley, and a rookie in Fantilli and Lucas Reichel. So overall, just a very good second power play team all together. As many second power play guys as you could ever want and more.
Okay, GA here. In addition to making several comments throughout the show, which I think he was planning to just give me all the Dallas guys as some sort of psyop operation. Here is his team with Mikko Rantanen, Mitch Marner, Matt Boldy, Kevin Fiala to start. I mean, there you go. If you're talking about how to start a draft off with high testosterone, you got to draft Mitch Marner at pick 18. Now I understand, Kyle Connor had just gone because he was the sharp selection there in that range. But, sometimes you just got to take Mitch Marner. And yes, I'm not still salty that he went from 4 shots on goal and 6 fantasy points to hitting the bonus and scoring a goal for 20.5 fantasy points in the last 3 seconds of last night's preseason DFS slate, which cost me about 4 figures, especially when you consider my Ryan Johansson mistake on top of that. Just a massive L's all around, and I will hate that forever. Beyond that, though, following up with Thatcher Demko in net, JT Miller, Korpisalo, and Val Nichushkin. So finally getting back on the wing train there with Big Val. Don't get too close to his gun collection. Sebastian Aho, Charlie McAvoy, Aiden Hill, Jacob Chuba, and Thomas Shabbat. You've got 3 defensemen there who will hit people, and Thomas Shabbat. So, that works for me. Alexis Lafreniere, because, I guess the theme of this room is getting guys who aren't really doing much of anything. And then Brock Nelson and Matthew Nyes. I guess anytime you can stack up Nyes and Marner, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess that's how Marner gets there, because someone has to shoot the puck, and Austin Matthews has vanished from the face of the earth. So, there's GA for you. DJ,
yep.
Did I roast you, or did you roast?
Yes,
I don't
you roasted me.
Okay.
So Matt went with the old dusty Dallas stack. At least you started with Jason Robertson. It would have been much worse without it, but I can't imagine a scenario where he would have taken it. Wow, good English. Without Robertson, Kyle Connor. So starts a good start. Georgiev, we talked about it before, probably going a little bit underrated, but then follows it up with quite a doozy. Johnny Gaudreau, because Columbus is going to win, a grand total of 20 games next year, and Johnny Gaudreau is just going to clearly outscore guys like Fiala and Tuck and guys that are on good hockey teams that are probably going to, massively outscore Columbus. Miro Heiskanen, because he just has to capitulate to the sharp people who are taking Miro Heiskanen, at the right time. But Evan Bouchard went way too early, so I guess what was he going to do to himself? Steven Stamkos, got to take a guy that Tampa Bay doesn't even want at 65 when JT Miller's on the board, a guy that actually hits and produces. You got to have Steven Stamkos, who Tampa Bay's probably just going to piss off and then trade. Drake Batherson, going to miss the whole season, so good pick there. Sergachev playing Russian roulette with the power play, and then goes with 2 goalies on arguably the 2 worst teams in the NHL in Anaheim and Philadelphia. At least you have Georgiev. That's all I'm going to say there, because he's going to need to stay healthy and win as many games as possible with Gibson and Hart bringing in a whopping first and second overall pick to their rosters. Brock Besser, I really honestly like Brock Besser, and I'm rooting for him. So I'll be rooting for that selection there. I hope he has a good season. But I will not be rooting for Jamie Benn, who should regress to the floor of the league and hopefully lose most of his time to Wyatt Johnson, who's just a better hockey player than him. Justin Falk, no complaints. Joe Pavelski, whatever. Vincent Trocheck, okay, he had to round out center some way when, Stamkos is already going to be useless. And then Yuri Slafkovsky, just first overall pick. The pedigree is there. Cannot wait for his 13 goals and 12 assists, Matt. That's really going to get you over the edge and probably put you in the playoffs.
My cat is here to help me retort that by the way, honestly, when you're trying to dunk on Jamie Benn by saying, "Oh, Wyatt Johnson's better," well, guess who his center is, and the only reason he's relevant it's Wyatt Johnson. So that's bet on Jamie Benn is a bet on Wyatt Johnson.
The only going down that Jamie Benn's going to do is on this roster into the bottom of the whole entire league here, the whole entire lobby.
To the third line. Okay, there you go. I finished your joke for you.
Yeah, that's not bad either. That was pretty good. No, but yeah, Gibson over Huso. I'm never going to understand it. Like, I don't.
I mean, if anyone really cares about that, I highly encourage you to look at any NHL season ever and see how goalies perform. It's really, it just doesn't matter. Both teams are garbage.
Bad.
So
they're both bad, but at least Detroit is better, and at least Huso has had a good season within the past 5 years.
Point taken. All right, CH Channel 11 here. Fires things off with Brady Tkachuk at 9, ahead of Kirill Kaprizov. Interesting decision there. Tage Thompson, Connor Hellebuck, Evan Bouchard, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Philip Gustafson. So thankfully, you got a starting goalie in there with Philip Gustafson on a playoff team, because Connor Hellebuck, who knows, maybe he gets traded to maybe he gets traded to Minnesota and is their replacement for a Marc-Andre Fleury, who's turned into dust. I don't know. But Pierre-Luc Dubois at 57 is actually mightily interesting. I don't have his ADP in front of me, but that does seem a little bit early. We got a little bit of concerning usage overseas. Like, obviously he's with Kevin Fiala, but no power play time was a bit troubling. They were using Fagemo and Arvidsson on the power play there in his place, which honestly was a very big shock to me. So whatever, grinding the tape, who cares? Rupe Hintz, because he really didn't want me to cap off my perfect Dallas stack with Rupe. Pavel Buchnevich, Quinn Hughes, Victor Arvidsson, Lucas Raymond. Well, at least with Arvidsson, you've locked up that power play 1 job for LA of guys who will never, ever touch the puck. And then Elvis, Patrick Kane. I mean, yeah, Patrick Kane literally might not even touch the ice, let alone a puck. And then Elias Lindholm, Kirill Marchenko, and Kalen Addison. I mean, at least with Kalen Addison, you're getting power play time. With Kirill Marchenko, who knows what you're getting, but it sure seems like Marchenko's time has come, and he will no longer be of use for this Columbus team that has actually brought in some decent talents as far as Fantilli and some other prospects that they have coming up, and will probably take his time on ice. So yeah, Kalen Addison is an interesting one, but between Hughes and Kalen Addison, you might get 4 shots in a week. So that's cool. And Malik coming through with us, PLD ADP of 63. So yeah, that seems mighty early for Pierre-Luc Dubois, especially given what we know now.
All right. Ace Elliott or whatever. I don't know why. AC Elliott. It looks like Ace to me first, and I always mess that up in, I think, every one of our drafts, but I don't really think watches the stream. I think he's just like I see that name everywhere. Starts with Jack Hughes over Kaprizov and Kucherov, because he really did not want to do what Matt would have suggested. So actually probably a smart thing. Stutzel, Dahlin, Caulfield, just for Brett, it's a bit of a head scratcher. Don't really see him playing with Jack Hughes. Don't really see how he's 58th best player on the board in any capacity. There's plenty of guys after him. That's really the first pick that got me thinking, maybe not exactly the right call. saves goaltending at least a little bit with Ilya Samsonov. I thought if he would have missed there, that could have gotten really out of hand. Another second power play guy in Claude Giroux. John Tavares, drafting Jack Hughes 10th overall and not assuming that he's going to be one of those top 4 level centers by taking Tavares above ADP. Again, not a great call there, just a bit of an interesting one. But following it up with Tyler Bertuzzi makes it even worse. Guy that's not on his line right now, probably, and likely not going to matter for any power play correlation. At this point, like I said, goaltending almost got away from him. Freddie Anderson is not going to bring it back. Chychrun, I'm fine with. Cousins seems unnecessary this early. Devin Taves, again, too early. I mean, there wasn't a lot of meat left on the bone there. Definitely defense had completely dried up, it seems like, at this point. So I have to hand it to him. But Jeremy Swayman, again, goaltending, it's going to come down to one guy, and that is Samsonov. And if that doesn't get there, he's got 2 guys that are not going to see 40 starts. And Connor Brown without McDavid is just an insane pick. I don't understand how you do it. Michael Bunting, I have to, I was going to take him if you didn't. So I'm going to give it up. This guy definitely knows well enough the format, but the player takes can be a little bit off. But the correlation, everything else is fine. Matt,
all right.
your last one.
I got Leela here at 11. Decent value, getting Kirill Kaprizov at 11. Follows it up by taking Kel McCarr, which is certainly a bet on Kel McCarr being the had-to-have-it defenseman. DeBrincat, Philip Forsberg, Tristan Jarry, Jonathan Marchessault, Jacob Markstrom, Ricard Raquel. I mean, there are that's a way to start things. No centers. So fortunately, you rectify that with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Dylan Larkin, and Carter Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe in particular is an interesting player to me to take on a team without that anchor center. Who the hell knows what his role is going to look like? Is he going to be with Barkov? Is he going to be on the third line? Is he going to be on the second power play? Is he going to be on the first unit? Who knows? Nobody knows anything. And fortunately, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Dylan Larkin as your 2 other centers, you have absolutely no margin for error because both of those guys could absolutely stink out loud this season. Getting Cam Talbot, a couple rounds after I got John Gibson and Carter Hart sounds about right. But when you consider that you traded guys like Elvis Merzlikins and Sam Montembeau, who are definitely going to be starters for their teams, not sure about that Cam Talbot action. And then to close things off, you get Oliver Bjorkstrand, John Klingberg, Jason Zucker, and Rasmus Anderson. John Klingberg, we talked about. I just don't think he's a guy who could possibly bury you. So fortunately, you take him on a team of Cal McCarr, who certainly could bury you. So whatever it is, and then Jason Zucker is a guy who very much so like Max Domi last year. Even if he is good, that's actually worse for your team because then when it comes to playoffs, he's going to get traded to a team where he's going to be 4th line filler for a contender. So best of luck to you and to everyone who I have reviewed. DJ, take the last one away.
Yep, last one as I enter my 30th drafters draft. I mean, everyone's clapping. I can hear it from all over the country that I got there. Thank you, first off, for being a part of that journey with us tonight. Starting with Kucherov, Ovechkin, and Clayton Keller, there's really just no complaints at this point. Buys and drinks all of the Connor Bedard tea and Kool-Aid, just every last drop of it. 37th overall. Well, it's a make or break pick. What have you? There's no complaints. But Adam Fox, this is where it starts to go off the rails. Adam Fox over, I thought it was over Tristan Jarry. I was going to say it was really what sunk your team here. But yeah, Adam Fox to not hit many rates, to definitely, oh my God, I just auto-drafted. I can't do this at the same time. Well, I have Shesterkin and Sorokin now on this team. That's fun. Okay. I'm gonna go quickly because I gotta just get to drafting. I can't do this anymore. Olmark, Bobrovsky, and Bridgemelka are gonna combine for not enough stars to get you done. Taylor Hall, Eberle, Niederreiter, and what's his freaking name? Kaliev for your final 4 wingers. I mean, they're never gonna score, but fair enough. Your team's fine. I don't care. I'm getting out of here.
All right, cool. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on the Morning Skate Pod account. if you're into the preseason DFS, DJ is retweeting a ton of stuff. So
And losing in
that's
DFS
fun
because he takes
yeah
freaking stupid freaking ah.
let it out.
If I just played the right plays, you know. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that is a big shame. But Mira Heiskanen went for a whopping 1.5, which was a very fun and a very fitting way to really punish me for drafting Miro on this god awful underdog fantasy team. So that's the Miro experience right there. Though he scores 6 goals, he gets 1 shot because he's irrelevant to that team.
It's actually pretty funny. No, yeah, I mean,
I
literally was just gonna play Robertson. I would have played Wedgwood. I don't think I was ever coming off Blackwood completely though. I think that was gonna be because I didn't think people were gonna play him. So I don't think I ever was gonna get there no matter what. But just frustrating. Put in all that time, energy, and effort, and get smoked.
Yep, and another if you're listening to this on the audio feed, you're good. By the way, the comment that came up is, what if auto drafting while roasting teams is what you needed? And of course, what if? Who knows? But if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out the Morningscape Pod pod feed. Again, that's linked in DJ's pod link tree thing that
it's a link tree
in the chat. Yeah,
it's not that crazy of a thing. So, people know about what that is.
Okay, but then find the link and click on it and then find the link from there to the pod is what I'm saying, because there will be audio only podcasts previewing the season coming out before the season starts on the pod feed. So that's coming up on us. Obviously the slate by slate breakdowns will also be on the pod feed, so please do find us over there. And lastly, join the MSP Discord. DM one of us if you don't have a link and you want to get in on the action. So DJ, if you want to close this out, go ahead, but I have nothing else to add.
Nope. Keep drafting, but listening to this, and go Sabres. We'll talk to you soon. Wait, I don't audio pod because well, everyone watch us live and rate, comment, review, do all that stuff. I think I cut out. Rate, comment, review.